Aye, the history of salt, mate. You want to know about salt? So see, back in the day, right? We're talking early 1900s.
Right.
In America, right? Basically, see, when they were publishing like documents about like what's good for you, what's bad for you, like mad scientific. Oh, we've done these experiments and it's proven that sugar's bad for you.
The
That does
food triangles and that.
all this stuff. So the sugar companies, you know about this, Joe? The sugar companies like paid whoever was doing the experiments to lie and say that sugar's no bad for you and it's salt that's really bad for you. Right. So for years, everybody thought salt was like terrible. Like, no, fuck, too much salt in that. But you need salt. It's a pure natural mineral thing in it. Aye, you need it.
I think.
But the sugar companies bought them out, mate, and now
we're full of sugar.
Everyone knows, mate.
We've no salt in these cans. But
there is salt.
Is there?
They make 0.3 a gram.
Oh, that's too salty.
0.03. Mate, mind that picture I showed you, and it was the boy that I went to school with trying to sell a 0.3 a prop on Facebook Marketplace.
Mate, do you know that?
Unbelievable.
Do you know that story made me feel heavy sad for a couple of weeks? Like, I would think about that, like think back to that and think about his position and all that, and I'd be like, it's a sin, man.
He used to get called Millhouse.
I would say like a wee specky dude.
Because he looked like Millhouse.
Blue hair and that. I know the type.
Blue hair, glasses, bro. He was a cartoon.
He had yellow skin.
Aye, man. But I want to watch. Can we watch Jimmy Cranky? Can I show you Jimmy Cranky?
Mate, I'd love to see Jimmy Cranky. Do you know the mad culture I know about Jimmy Cranky?
Jimmy Cranky.
Jimmy Cranky. The only things I can think about is like, do you know how they videos that are like, is that out of charge? Aye. I've got a charge of it. I see them ad programs on like STV at Christmas, and it's like the top 100 things about the 80s and all that. I'm talking about, and it's like mad floating heats.
No way, Jimmy Cranky was on it.
No, but like people would talk it, and it would be like Jimmy Cranky. What can we say about? And there would be pure talking, and then I don't know, like just mad shit like that.
So like Jimmy Cranky was on the list.
It would be like that program or whatever. What even is it?
It's not even like a mate. This is an old VHS I used to own. Shout out to my cousin Ewan, who's in the Patreon, so he might be watching it. He probably will be watching this. It reminds me of being with him when I was a wee guy, because obviously he's my cousin, so I would be with him when I was pure young. I remember like somehow I think we went to the pantomime. Yeah, like young Jim. young Jimmy was on the stage in I think the King's Theatre. Good gig, yeah. Establishment, classic establishment, and young Jim was in there doing his or her thing.
A DJ set or something.
Mate, first decade, mate. No, but we went there and I think we bought. Now they sell like the merch. You can go outside and get the Jimmy Cranky tee. And like the CD and that. I think we must have got the VHS for there, bro. And do you know what that is, yeah?
No, VHS is son.
Oh, no.
Oh, videotapes, but man, you ain't never. Mate,
I just get a cassette though, and I just get that new Arctic Monkeys album. It comes with a cassette.
Really? That is so Alex Turner, mate. Put it on a cassette. Our new records on a cassette.
The only way to listen to this vinyl is on a cassette.
It's the only way you'll hear the art.
The shit changed, but you know for the most part nothing indifferent. Sometimes be stuck in my ways, weekend fucked up in somebody's kitchen, sticking my hand down, chilling with the troops and my few cans down, so I walk like Winston. Trust me, I wake up hanging, you hang that I'm leaving this bed, you're kidding. I'm sitting on back in the pad, get deep fried and I smoke some packs of the grass. Put the feet up, kick back and relaxing at best, no I'm sitting on Riley's gas.
Do you ever remember when you were younger, Evan gone into Blockbuster?
Aye.
I mean, I was never at that place.
That's where I used to get like all my wrestling videos and all that when I was a wee guy. Mate, that was like, I see pictures always, like, and it's like mad pages that come up and it's like, this was every young wrestling fan's paradise. And it was like the wall, see like the mad, like the wrestling wall, and it was like all the mad, like now because obviously it's a mad wrestling thing, so it's like pure bright, it's a mad graphic thing on the front of it to obviously draw your eyes on it. It would always be pure brightly coloured shit. It's just don't make them like that anymore.
I remember...
Let me look for young Jim.
I remember going round my pal's house and he always had like a wee mini wrestling ring and all them had figures. And I remember how fun it was to play wrestling, like with toys.
Bro. Mate, I had a mad ring and it was like it was like water. It was like they could slide out it and it would go into water and all that. It was wild, bro.
Mate, see we guys that were heavy into wrestling, I think you can tell. Like, I can tell you're heavy into wrestling if we never spoke about wrestling.
How?
I don't know. There's just something about you.
Just a different energy.
Aye, a different, like, I think you're more prone to violence than that.
For me?
Aye.
Let alone me? Nah, mate. Right, I've got young Jim. You could tell a wrestling fan, bro.
Aye, 100%, mate. You've got a different...
Mate, I've realised why I like it, but I realise what interests me about it.
Heavy entertainment.
No, it's not even that, because it's not like I watch wrestling. I don't watch any wrestling, bro. See, like current wrestling, I don't watch any of it, but I listen to stuff about like...
Or like watch podcasts and shit.
Aye, but it's not even like them talking about that. It's like cunts going, aye, like fucking... So like see all the shit I watched when I was a wee guy? Like pure Stone Cold, The Rock and all that. It's like cunts going that were like working for WWE at the time, like booking the matches and shit, and it's like them going, well, fucking Steve was fucking raging about having to put this guy over, like lose to him and all that. And I'm like, I think it's because I watched it when I was a wee guy and now I'm seeing like behind the curtain there. Obviously I didn't think it was real until like pure a year, like didn't think it wasn't fake till like a year ago or something, do you know what I mean? But it's like you get to know the mad insides it. But I find it interesting because I was listening to Rick Rubin. Did you watch Rick Rubin on Joe Rogan? No? Aye, it's good, man. He was talking about why he liked it and it was like, it's like the fact that they can like, by the way they say their words and what they say, they can manipulate everybody's emotions. Like, mate, like if they're good at it, they can actually just control like the way somebody feels by just doing a wee certain thing with their body language or like.
It's just like it's heavy, like it's like acting on steroids, innit? Because it's like it's like it is just like watching a mad entertaining like what do you call it, like reality show.
Aye, it's like and it's on every week and it just never stops and they're leathering each other, getting thrown off. But it's funny, like it's not funny, but like see now, right? Do you remember like? Do you know what like ECW is? You heard of that, right? And it was the mad pure cunts who get lit on fire and all that, right?
Mental.
See when that happened, right? It's like see now, it's so like. So like now you'll see mad videos of mad things in wrestling. It's like a cunt getting fucking kicked off a ladder and then falling through a table and all that, right? They just kept pushing the boat with that, right? That like it wasn't even like that at all in like the 70s and that. They never done anything like that, like at all, mate, right? And they just kept going and obviously it got to the early 2000s and cunts were just getting fucking lobbed off things and then they never quite pulled it in. So see now that shit happens every single week on like the most dangerous shit you could do.
See like Hulk Hogan back in like the 80s or whatever, was that just like a mad like was it still how like the sport wrestling was it closer to that?
No, it's like it's never been what it is right. So see back in like the 50s and that, mate, that was like when wrestling was like at its biggest. Like wrestling was the biggest sport in America. Football, baseball, anything, mate. That was the top wrestling guy would be like what LeBron James is, if you know what I mean, in society. Like everybody knew them. But I find that interesting. I know it's like it's the only sport that's it's not technically a sport, but it's the only thing that's ever done that. Like there's nothing like football isn't more popular than it is the new in the 50s. Like it's always just pure.
And it's weird because it's like other sports take mad progressions. Like do you know how that way like the new F1's getting more popular? And it's like that's because like the mad marketing skills are doing that mad
Netflix show and all that.
So like that's just gone up like that, but it's weird because wrestling pure does that.
It goes through mad peaks and troughs. Is that what you say?
Peaks and troughs.
Is that the term?
I'm into that.
But anyway, I need to show you young Jimmy Cranky before we get into the deep fried troops.
So
this is Jamie's first time really seen young Jimmy Cranky.
Jesse, I'm playing tiddlywinks. You don't know your tiddle from your wink. So, I'm the school champ. Anyway, you better tidy up.
But are they like 40 or something?
Aye, that woman's like 40 there, not me. But she's just tiny.
Anyway, you have not.
How did this?
Not in this drawer. That's because you're standing sitting up in the
Oh, an
wardrobe.
actual photo.
Mate, both of them are about 40.
That's a husband?
Oh, aye, it is, and I'm lucky to be alive.
What is going on, mate? It's so weird, bro, but it's so like, mate, it's so,
Listen to the jokes in it, they're so like a beard drunch.
Lord, those marbles, they must be Jimmy's.
Exactly. He knew I was coming to see you today. I'm sure he sets booby traps for me.
They'd have to be awful big traps to catch them boobies. Wee Jimmy's all right, but he can be a handful at times. At other times, he can be an angel.
If only he was. Where is he now?
He's playing with Jessie.
Well, it makes a change from playing with his marbles.
mate, what was actually going on in the world that this was
Mate,
a mad...
let me check like when what the year this would be like from the sketch. 80s, mate, 80s.
Aye. See, that's what I mean, mate. I'm sure I've seen like clips of this. The only thing I've ever seen clips of this is on they mad things at Christmas, and people say like, the only thing I remember somebody commenting about it, and how they mad
Shit,
people
sorry.
come up and they talk about, say it was like Star Wars, and it'd be like somebody like a mad actor, like fuck knows, but like Ewan McGregor would come and go, Star Wars, you know, he was in Star Wars, so I can't say that. But like a mad Star Wars,
They just walk away.
and like no, but they would like comment on it and they'd go, the best thing about Star Wars was this and that. There was one about them, and the person was saying it was exactly what the world needed at this point or something, right? And I was like, what is like that, like living with the crankies or something? And then it came on mad clips and I was like, what, the world needed that, mate?
I know, like, what was happening in the world, man? Mate, there's a heavy funny video, and it's like a cunt saying like, see, like, now they have like, you'll see it at like midnight on like Channel 4 on like a Saturday night or something, right? And it'll be like the 90s, like the decade that changed the world. And it's all like cunts going, can't sell you afterwards on the 90s, I'll get taken off telly. We need to try and find that, mate. It's
that
so,
TikTok.
I'll like it, Joe. It's so funny, man.
Mate, I'm sure you sent me that.
It's actual genius, mate. It's like one of the ideas.
That guy's funny, man.
Aye, it's one of the ideas you see, and you're like, why did I not think of that? Like, how did how?
You
like,
want to talk about the 90s? It's the Manchester kids,
because it's so true, like the way they do it.
You want to know about the 90s, yeah? Don't think there's much I can say about it on telly.
The 90s. A decade that lasted nearly 10
Tony
years.
Blair, not.
Did we have a good time? You could say that. Notting Hill, Primrose Hill. We had more hills than we knew what to do with.
You were either Oasis or Blur, and if you didn't like either of them, you could be shocked.
For a page, free shoot, it would be about £1 billion.
Look, we needed to sell papers. Does that mean I fed my daughter to a whale just for the headline? Of course it does.
When I woke up, it was 2004.
Everyone was talking about semi-skimmed milk.
When he got on that pitch, Shearer was an animal.
Like, literally, he was a horse, but no one said anything.
Is cocaine a drug?
£2 billion boobs. That's so good, isn't it, man?
That he's funny, that cunt.
Aye, I've seen his other shit.
He's a funny guy, that guy.
Funny guy. But we better get on to business, troops. We're here for a reason.
To speak about another funny guy.
We're here to watch Jimmy Cranky goes to California.
Goes to Hollywood.
That is like, I know people are like, what is the Patreon money going towards? They're seeing the Patreon is growing and they're thinking, you know, what is this going to? What are they doing with this money? We are looking to fund to create Jimmy Cranky Goes to Hollywood.
It's a play on Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Is Jimmy Cranky dead actually? Do you know what? I don't even want to ruin my podcast, bro. But
Ruin your dreams.
We're here to serve the man Taylor Walker. Part 2 of Taylor Walker's request on the Patreon. He wanted us to look into mad dodgy cults and that, bro.
So we've already done.
We've done Manson family because we like to overachieve, you know, we like to over deliver. So we just couldn't pick between them. We thought these are just equally as good, so we'll just split it into 2 episodes. So this is the story of Jim Jones. Now, what can we say about Jim Jones?
Jim Jones, mate, he was an idealist, I think.
Maybe at first,
Maybe at first, mate.
What happened at the end?
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
I'm not the only one. I've heard that.
Jim Jones said that.
But first?
Aye. That's Jim Jones.
Is it?
Is that no Jim Jones that sings that?
I kinda thought you were being serious, mate.
No, so I think he was an idealist at the start. He wanted his own utopia, which I respect, mate.
You respect it?
I respect the idea, no the execution.
Is it no a sign of narcissism if you want your own utopia?
Aye, because like you're basically saying everybody, I can create the best world that any use could ever imagine, but it's like,
aye.
Then you just assume, aye.
I'm saying that.
What's that, bro? Is that something like that?
Oh, so I just come with a helmet.
What would you create in your? What would like your utopia be like? Like what would it be like? If
Do you want a serious answer?
If I had to wake up, say I went home after the podcast, Jim Jones, People's Temple, you know, horrendous scenes. But tomorrow we get to wake up in Jamie Kelly's utopia. Where are we waking up, mate?
You're waking up in the sunny beaches of Benidorm.
And who's there?
We've bulldozed all the old shite that was there. Like right. all the like fucking English boozers and that. Right? We've bulldozed all that shit. And me, you, and that wee cunt are there. We're the
whole world Benidorm? Is this what you're saying?
The whole world is Benidorm for this analogy. Aye. It's the vibe of Benidorm. That's a decent wee heat, never too much warm.
Do you think you'll kill the vibe of Benidorm by knocking everything down that's there now?
Mate, we're starting Jamie Dorm.
Jamie Dorm.
So
Ben's getting kicked out.
Ben, I'm sorry, you need to leave. So I would wake up. First day there. Are we doing the first day there, or do you just want to know an overarching idea?
I want to know that I wake up and look out my window. What kind of sort of stuff am I seeing, mate?
Mate, you're seeing for the first like few years it would just be wee huts and that, right? That's all we'd be able to get because we'd be kind of building towards.
So you get to create it, just like you get unlimited supplies, bro. I'm not meaning you need to start from scratch like one of the games. Like you need to build a civilization,
like Rust. Right, no. So. Right,
you've got an unlimited budget, mate.
So us three all stay in the same house.
Right.
We
can't even afford our own houses.
No, we can, but we just heavy love each other in my utopia.
Right.
The birds are there. Everybody's happy. Everybody's getting along. Outside the house, it's not going that well, mate, because everybody that came with us is wanting as big a house as us, but I'm not having that. Do you know what I mean? So
no.
So we've got houses like the same size as like Buckingham Palace or something. One house the same size as like Buckingham Palace or something, but they're all in like 3 bedrooms, which I think is decent. You said I've got unlimited budget, but we can't have fucking millions of Buckingham Palaces.
You do need to create a hierarchy, Jamie. You can't just start. Oh, we're all equal. No, create the hierarchy as soon as you go in. Say we are the best, and you will know. This is how you know our house is 15 times the size of yours.
And when we're telling them this shit, we'll be like way above them. Like we'll be standing on like a thing, and you'll be just behind me, like rubbing my shoulders, and I'll be going, Jamie Dom is about family, friendship, and love, and all that. But like, so I'll be saying nice shit, but like, see the tone in that.
Because that's how you get it in. That's how you get it implemented into people's brains. You don't get it implemented by being, and I'm going to build a great. No, that's how you know the fist. That's how all the greats done it, mate.
Exactly, mate. That's how like all my heroes throughout history have done it. Students have about like the Pope.
Michael Jackson.
Mussolini. Michael Jackson, good one. Mussolini wasn't that good a one.
Kendrick Lamar,
mate. See, we're starting. The guy who shot JFK in the theatre. But so by this point, I'm just going to paint the picture. I'm going to like tie my Jamie Dom up.
If I had to shut my eyes, what would I be seeing?
Well, you'd be staying in a lovely mansion, but one of the peasants has started getting to you because you're below me as well. Right, okay. I've not told you this. I've got a bigger room in that.
It is your utopia.
There's a hierarchy.
If you put me above you in your own utopia, I would need to take you to the doctors, mate.
I've got no like qualms in doing that, right? With Joseph, with anybody. But see, you can be somebody could get into your head.
Think so?
And make you like start thinking, why? Like, what is going on here? Somebody could start pulling the strings of your wee brain.
I would be susceptible to that.
To a takeover, do you think?
I think that is what would eventually kill Jamie Dom. I think that, you know, they wouldn't get me just by going, here, like, this doesn't look fair to me. Like, we're kind of like, this guy had an unlimited budget and still chose to just put us in much smaller hussies. You're in here, but also, do you know, I think it's weird how, like, you're on the second floor and Jamie's in the top floor, and like, he's got a pool in his room and you need to go to the pool outside.
And you've just got like a mini pool in your room and that.
Aye. And a mini fridge and a mini bed.
Everything's
do you think it's weird everything's mini in your room, mate? Like, never even thought about it, man.
Drinking a bottle of water.
I need to take a drink, man. Let's smoke a fag, man. This is weird, but I think I could see myself ultimately ruining Jamie Dom, I would say.
So how it would be done would be, so we would just start naturally getting more separated. I'll be like, mate, you take your full mansion then, mate. I'm going to go and build a spaceship. I'd be away in a spaceship and I would make it like a big sphere, like a big metal sphere. I'd call it like the Death Star or something. And then, but you would start getting like a band of like loosely like organised rebels together. Some of them might look like wee bears and that, and then you would build your own wee spaceship and you should come up and then we.
And what's our relationship like at this time? Are we like, alright, mate, like, is it that way? Like, everything's good, but you can kind of tell something's up, or are we at war at this point? Or?
When I leave and make the Death Star, we are enemies,
sworn enemies,
instantly. Like, but it's one of the ones. You know how one of the ones that in like the final battle and we're fighting, we've got these big kind of swords that have like kind of lasers at them. Right. Do you know what I mean? What do you call them again?
Lightsabers. Jamie sabers, mate.
Jamie sabers. We'd be like fighting, and then at the end, because you kill me at the end of this tale, at the end you'd be about to stab me with a lightsaber, and you'd be like, "Goodbye, old friend."
I would say something really dramatic like that.
Aye, and then you'd be like, "Any last words?" And I'd be like, and then
that's hard. I can't. In that moment, I would maybe even know there, just because I'd like, that was fucking respect. But maybe that's how we would make up by you spitting on my face, because I would have too much respect to kill you.
You'd be like, mate, that was
and I'd be like, do you want to start a podcast?
Yeah, we should start a podcast. Mate, everything.
I was thinking, everything we talk, mate. It's like, I mean, I know obviously like the Death Star fight and the whole civilization being a disaster and that, but we have like good convos, bro.
What about that time when you said goodbye, old friend, to me? Like, imagine we were recording that.
No, like, that would be the hardest moment in history, bro. But anyway, troops. What were you guys say?
I was gonna say, see, every time I see one of the videos, it's like people like just like, it's like as soon as boys have one good conversation, it's like, we should start a podcast. I always get I feel attacked.
Mate, so they are, but I always think like. It's the words, but
no, but we're different.
Like, I think like Joe Rogan and that kind of done that, because he would just like get his pals on, they would talk shite front of you, like, I do that.
I mean, I do that anyway.
I do that. And it doesn't sound like theirs sounds. It sounds a bit different. And they trapped everybody, mate. But I seen one that was like 4 5th years in England, and it was like a political podcast. Did you see that? And they're like, it's not even, it's like they've got like one of their phones like set up on that, right, and then there's no mic, they're just all sitting like with 4 chairs and it's just the phone audio, and they're just pure, I think, you know, Britain as we know it is done. I mean, it's not what it, you can't say Britain's the same superpower it used to be. No way, no that. And like, I agree. And it's like all the comments up here, this is exactly who our podcast wasn't made for. You know what I mean?
Britain as we know it, and you're like 13.
But hopefully we're a bit more entertaining than that.
Aye.
So we better get to business, troops. We're here to talk about Jim Jones, the People's Temple. And this man, as Jamie said, is a bit of an idealist. He did want his own utopia. I don't think it lived up to Jamie Dom, the tales of Jamie Dom, but some mad shit happened in this one, troops. Obviously, we done Manson last time, and shit does not get any. This is probably worse.
This is
This
10
is
times
much
worse in my
worse.
opinion. See, when I was thinking about like how they're like the two most kind of famous cults, this one's like the iconic cult, I think
this is like everything. It's got everything about like what you would think a cult is, because there's some cults you're like, that's not very culty. Like, it's culty, but it's no that culty.
You sound like a mad stuck up person. Like, that's not very culty.
But I've studied that many cults that I'm quite stuck up when it comes to cults. I like my cults to have all the attributes: a crazy leader, religion, sexual abuse.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this had it all.
And everybody knows like there's a lot of shit people that heard of People's Temple and that, but if you've never heard of Jim Jones, you still know the mad saying. That drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid, mate.
Aye. See,
and you'll find, if you don't know why, if you know what happened in Jonestown, then you'll know what that means. But if you don't, then you're about to learn what that phrase even comes from.
Stick around and find out.
Hang around to the end and you'll find out. No, but let's get to business, people. So Jim Jones was the leader of the People's Temple, a religious group which was originally built based on racial equality with liberal socialist visions. So, you know, this doesn't sound bad.
No, sounds like a great guy.
Built on racial equality,
so
liberal with liberal socialist visions. This sounds like a good guy.
It does.
So the People's Temple amassed a following of well over 3,000 members, and in 1977 Jim Jones relocated over 1,000 of them to French Guiana in South America. Just 1 year later, Jones ordered a mass suicide to take place in Jonestown, leading up to the death of over 900 members, including Jones himself. But before we dive into the events leading up to the Jonestown massacre, let's find out a bit about the man himself. Jim Jones was born May 13th, 1931 in Indianapolis. His father, James, was unable to work due to injuries in World War I, so it was left to his mother, Lynetta, to provide. Lynetta was an eccentric woman, or as we say in Scotland, a pain in the arse. So she had a loud mouth on her and proclaimed that her purpose in life was to give birth to a great man. So imagine, like,
the kind of person that is.
That's your. Imagine somebody running about shouting that. Like, oh, I'm going to give birth to a great man. It's such a like 30s thing. Like, you would never even hear somebody saying that. A great man.
But I like that's your only. Imagine as well how sad you'd be knowing your only purpose was like somebody else.
I know.
That's your one purpose in life. You don't need to and you just chill out.
Oh, is that no Mary Magdalene?
Aye, dumb bitch.
Jesus, isn't it?
Well, it was like, you don't matter, but what you need to do is give birth to Jesus. And she's like, guess my life kind of doesn't matter for you then, you know what I mean?
Mate,
what about
Mary Magdalene?
What about Mary? That's a new movie that's coming out. What about Mary? And it's like the sort of it's like what happened before that,
and then she's like, oh, and then the whole Jesus thing happened. Like she's talking about the punky and all
I can't really tell you about Jesus.
Mate, I can't remember what this is in, but like I remember somebody it was in Community, that was it, in the programme Community. You ever seen that? No. Somebody says something and somebody's about to raise like a Wayne that's no theirs, and somebody's like, I remember a great man who once did that, talking about like Jesus or Joseph or whatever, and he says something about Joseph, and somebody walks by and goes, history's biggest chump. As if he's been pure done.
He didn't.
It's so funny, man.
Aye, mate. Joseph got done, mate. I think Mary Magdalene made the whole story up just to cover everything, mate.
Aye, then that's your ideologies.
That's where everything stemmed from, basically. But back to Lynetta. So she had a loud mouth on her and proclaimed that her purpose in life was to give birth to a great man. This pressure was placed onto Jim at a young age and was drilled into him, which probably built his insane ego. Alongside that pressure, Lynetta apparently lacked any maternal instincts and never properly cared for Jim, leaving his neighbours and extended family to look after him frequently. So very similar to Manson, where, and it's this is very common with like people in cults and people that grow up to just insane stuff. It's that mad nurturing it for birth, like with the mother, how they feel about the mum. Most serial killers either have like mum issues or like dad issues. Like it's a pure small percentage of them that don't.
And they're learning like how and no have any empathy from a young age, and all. So it's just like
like they're never getting shown empathy, so it's like you're never going to learn about it. So It's like a mad foreign concept to you.
So it must not be a mad instinct to humans then to just be empathetic. Like, it raises questions on what morality is. No, but being serious, like, it must not just be drilled into us to just be a good person. Do you know what I mean? See if that...
You're like a blank slate, I think, as you say. Like, you're whatever you're brought up around. I think there is a mad... I think it is weird because it's like... I wonder what... Do you think they've ever done an experiment where they just... You couldn't, like, I was going to say, like, they just don't give a baby any...
just leave it in a room,
just
mate.
Leave it and just see what it ends up like.
Just haunted
putting
food under the door.
I wee, like, the wee dog flap out. Oh, mate. Remember the mad story about the Russian sleep experiment? The mad creepy pasta thing?
That's not true.
It's not true, innit? But what was it, like, they kept people up for days and all that?
And then they started, like, it's a bit fucked, innit?
We should do it. New vlog.
And this fucking studio.
We done the Russian sleep experiment. And it's our eyes, Peter.
That's an actual Mr. Beast video or something, innit? Like, I stayed awake for 48 hours now, and he's sitting like that, pure fucked, man.
He's pure turned on the warmth down in the picture and all that. He's pure, he's dead. I died. But back to young Jim Jones. So, Jim attended church often as a young man and had dreams of being a preacher. So, he was quite an odd kid growing up as well. He would regularly find dead animals and hold mock funerals for them. So this would happen so often that all the other children started to think Jim was actually just killing the animals in the first place to hold the funeral, which, looking back, was probably the case.
Just giving them a wee lid of fucking Kool-Aid, like, come on, 2 wee birds and that.
Injecting it, man. But a pretty odd thing to do. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't really... I mean, like, imagine being that young and being like, I want to not even just find dead animals. That could be like, I could get that in a way. It's like a mad intriguing thing, like you don't know what death is, sort of. You're like, why is that not moving? And you could be interested by that, right? But then to like what, to hold a funeral, to like do a mad service. Imagine young Jim Jones preaching at this mad funeral, and this bird died for no reason.
Do you think he like dug a wee shoebox hole and then like got all his pals round? Like, or all the people for the neighbourhood, and they stood at the front and did a eulogy and all that?
I feel like that's what he would have been up to, Little Jim. I think Little Jim, because he did want to be a preacher, so I think that's where he practiced his preaching, baby. But during his teen years, he began to become annoyed at the treatment of African Americans in his area. So... Quite a nice thing.
Great guy.
Indiana is still known as the KKK capital of America till this day, so you can only imagine how bad it must have been back then. With his love of preaching and strong dislike for racism, he began going to black parts of town and preaching about racial equality in a time when this was not by any means the popular viewpoint for a white man to hold.
That would have been a pure...
this would have been like 50s.
So that's...
So
like,
imagine, that's like segregation, like...
right in the middle of it all.
And he's like going as a white man into black neighbourhoods and being like, this isn't right. Like, and obviously he must have like a talent at this point for preaching. In a way, he's had a lot of practice.
He's been doing it since he was a young boy.
But he's done his apprenticeship and that by now, do you know what I mean? He's passed his trade test. So, you know, the young man he's gone to these parts of town and he's preaching this. So obviously people are starting to sort of listen to him. So he started to gain a following of African Americans anytime he would do this, who would hang on his every word, thus beginning his love of being a religious leader. So at this time he's like, I think he's doing this and he's looking about and going, oh, this is like Lee Sutherland when he sees the police. I would say the same buzz, the same, I don't know what I like, but I don't know, this is...
I like something.
Something, and the more people that are coming, the better, the more bricked up I'm getting, baby.
Do you know what? This is actually a wee bit topical, but do you know how, like, whenever we talk about things like this, it always reminds me of something you said about Kanye West. And you were like, the reason he's went off his nuts because everybody was like, mate, you're a genius. Like the full world. I think that I can pure imagine that happening. Like as soon as you get, like, if you're storing about and there's cunts actually following you, like now you get followers when you're
just hanging on to every like the thing with Manson, it's like he had people that would literally, they didn't have their own thoughts. They're just like, what are we thinking about now? Like, farting. They're like, oh fuck, you're like, that's a drug, mate. If you could bottle that and sell it, baby, we'd be back to Jamie Dom in no time, bro.
Steaming on this shit.
Jamie Dom would have survived, man. So this obviously began this love he had for being the religious leader, and he became a Methodist minister in a church in 1952, and soon became aware of Father Divine, the leader of the peace mission movement. And after seeing Father Divine's mansion and extravagant lifestyle, Jones began to abandon his socialist views.
Oh, the bastard. And
he also learned from Father Divine that you can just flat out lie to people when you preach.
Oh, was he a bit of a bastard?
Father Divine was not a great guy. He learned that like you can just lie about things, and they're likely to believe you if they're already following you. They've already bought into you, sort of thing. So Father Divine's wife was diagnosed with cancer, right? Mm-hmm. And he claimed with his magical healing powers that he was going to cure her. But she died a month later, right? Which left Father Divine's followers confused. Obviously, he's like, look, don't worry, she's got cancer. Father Divine, why are you worrying? I'll cure her. Don't worry.
Do you know who you're talking to here?
Which is, for Father Divine, obviously he's an eccentric character, Father Divine, but to even attempt to do that when your wife's got cancer is like, he's taking that chance of being like, because it's risk and reward. It's like, say she survives, then they're like, oh my, they're even furthering because they're like,
that's them.
I just seen him cure cancer. Like, there's nothing that he could say that could like turn you off him anymore. So you're
like, that's the one thing I can't say. Like, if something's heavy expensive or something, like, better cure cancer. It's always like the cure for cancer's a mad thing, and this could just go it.
I can do it. Don't worry, just like that, man. Just five digits up, man. Oh, that's that cancer away, man. I feel brand new. But so obviously she died a month later, right after he's proclaimed that. Don't worry about her, man. I'll save her. However, Father Divine was no mug. He just found a new wife and claimed that he transferred the soul of his deceased wife into the new wife, so she never really died.
See, that's what he's done. That is what he's done.
You think so, Jamie?
Aye, 100%. That's exactly what he's done.
No, I believe him. I definitely believe him.
It makes sense now, do you know what I mean? I know Father Divine wouldn't just let his wife die. You know what I mean?
Oh, Father Divine, man. But this just shows you, like, these people that want to get in these positions and, like, the way they can think, like, I'll just get a new wife and say I put her, so like, because they're already in enough where they could believe that. Do you know what I mean? And
mate, it's the balls I'm always amazed by.
It's like, a lot of balls to just say you're going to cure somebody of cancer and then they just die a month later.
But, like, do you know how, right, say you lie about going into about being sick, right, and so you want a sickie off work and you lie to your boss and that, see when you get in the next day and they're like, oh, how are you feeling a bit better than that? You always feel pure bad. Do you know what I mean? You always feel a bit like a pure lie. And I can imagine like going out in front of like thousands of people or hundreds of people, whatever, and being like, this is the wife that I transferred or not. Like, how could you even imagine how nervous?
That is like the last level of the sickie, mate. And it is like, oh, mate, that's so funny you're saying about that feeling of like your boss like that. Feeling better now? I was bad Saturday. Fucking, I'm actually, I'm feeling that.
I was a bit better on the Monday, but I just thought I'm not risking it.
And how funny is this? Every sickie you pull, you never say like, I'm 100% better now. You're always like, I'm still a wee bit, but I'm alright enough to come in. Like, as if like you need to show like I'm going through some hardship to come in.
To be here for you.
I like mate, try to turn the tables back round.
You feel like such a bastard.
It's a fraudulent thing. Mate, I learned, you know how I learned to lie? The movie Blow.
Oh, that's a good film, innit?
Because Johnny Depp's walking through the airport and he's got the cases of fucking cocaine and he's like that. To do this successfully, you need to actually convince yourself that you've not got anything. Like, you need to fully believe that there's nothing in your cases. So when I go into work, I'm like, I need to fully believe that I was really sick there. And I think it makes you pull it off, man.
It makes you feel sick, I know. You just feel like shit.
You're not waiting on that.
You're no worth it.
Mate, the worst thing with a sickie, pulling a sickie, and then like later in that week you actually start thinking, you're like, I can't be, I'm going to need to come in here still.
And that's what you call karma.
That is karma.
Which is a fucking bitch, you know that?
Karma's a bitch if you decide to do her dirty. But
dash Evan Riley.
2022, man, get it on the fucking, get it tattooed,
Get it
man.
on Tumblr.
Get it on Tumblr. So, taking on the lessons learned from Divine, Jones learned that to grow his group, he had to have members with money. He began to preach about his African American members integrating with wealthy whites. Soon the group was made up of poor African Americans and wealthy liberal whites who believed in the cause. Jones, being a naturally paranoid guy, began to believe that a nuclear war was going to destroy America and looked to relocate his group. So he set off to Brazil with his family to establish a base there, but completely failed due to the fact he doesn't speak any Portuguese at all. So he tried to like go to Brazil and like say like, I'm gonna I'll get members here and all that, and I'll get in with the government and all that here, and like nobody's got a clue what he's saying.
Like, mate, that's actually the day when I says to you, do you want to move to Amsterdam?
I know.
Like, do you want to move to Amsterdam? Just do the podcast there. They're like, no.
I was like, that works in like one level, and like, it would be fun, and then every other level it's a terrible idea.
You feel see why my brain works.
It's like the thing with like fun in your head outweighs everything else so much than like it would normally would.
It's like know how one of the like maps of the brain and it's got like segments. This is for like your strategic blah blah blah. No, mine is just a big pink bit of just says fun in it.
All fun.
There's like one bit down here to remember to breathe, mate. And that's it.
That's it. Just fun after that. But Jimmy Jones, man, he's not having fun in Brazil. So as I said, he failed. He couldn't speak any of the language that the country was going to. And Jones' ego could not admit that his plan failed, and he returned not on the basis that he had failed, but that JFK had just been assassinated. So he had to get back and sort everything out.
Aye, that's what he had to do, mate. Definitely.
That's the reason I came back. I need to, like, obviously JFK and that.
Me and JFK were like that.
Mate, I'll sort America, right? I'll sort it out. I'll sort it, mate. JFK, I'll sort it. I've got it. But so he comes back to America, and to isolate his members from their hometowns and gain wealthier followers, he moved his group to San Francisco, a much more liberal city than Richmond, Virginia. His followers, without question, moved with him as he proclaimed that they had to go there to grow in power, as the Russians were soon planning on nuking America. And this was the first step of their plan to leave the States. So
he's a man with a plan.
Aye, and I think you can see the new, like, the sort of, as much as he is saying this to get them to move, he's just a pure paranoid guy already. Do you know what I mean? He's like, fun, like, I need to, like, he's very erratic and very...
That's another thing, like, similar to Manson as well, innit? That's kind of reminded me of that. Like, we need to get out to this place.
It's all like, fuck, we need to do this, we need to do it now, because, like, that's the thing, like, that's how people believe, because they're so... There's no indecisiveness about them. They're like, I know what to, like, if you're this higher power to people, you're like, I know what to do. Like, you should never need to think about it, and you should just know the answer.
Mate, do you know what it might be similar to? And all, like, maybe subconsciously or whatever. I was thinking about this the other day. I watched a documentary about like the financial market, right? And it was one of the things. It's like, you get pure raging after it. And you're like, what is going on? Like, why is that? For about 10 minutes. And then you like get hungry and you go and get something to eat and all that. And it's pure like, see things like that. See if there was like a thing after that film that was like, go to this place and do this to now. I would have went like in that immediate like fucking thing. Do you know what I mean?
In that mad zone you're in.
So maybe it's like that. Like they're like, we just need to catch people by like surprise. Like, if I says to you, mate, wait here, we need to go back to the town now. We need to go to the room. You'd be like,
you're more likely to do it when you've not got time to think about it.
Exactly,
sort of thing.
Mate. Aye.
But so this is obviously the first step of their plan to get out of there. So in order to recruit more numbers in the early days of the People's Temple, Jones would have a relentless schedule of touring around local churches and hospitals. He would perform healing practices on sick people who were usually just plants from his own group. And one scam that he had involved him pointing out a member of the crowd who was obviously a plant and telling them that they had cancer.
Oh,
you got the C-word, baby, you got the cancer.
They're just doing it like, oh no, man.
Fuck, man.
I've got that thing, man.
I've got a fucking washing out today, man.
Oh, man, I left the oven on.
Fuck. Cancer.
Know this.
Imagine they were like a terrible, they're like, oh, you're joking.
Oh,
darn.
Oh, damn it.
Golly gee. But so he would have like several ones of these, but this one he would tell them they'd cancer, but obviously it's a plant. So he would then perform dramatic healing chants, and the person would bend over, and at the last second they would throw like chicken guts into their mouth. Nice. And then they would get back up and spit the chicken guts out, and that's like, I'm a cure, we got the cancer. And it was like holding it, we got the cancer.
Oh,
so
mate.
like the chicken guts, but like it's funny because it's like, they could have made them. They could have. It could be anything else, really. Nobody knows what cancer looks like, so the fact he's actual
golf ball or something.
But that shows his commitment already. Really, Jimmy Boy Jones, Jimmy Bones Jones.
Because if I seen chicken guts, I wouldn't be able to tell you it wasn't.
You wouldn't be like, no, that's no that's monkey guts.
No, even that you wouldn't be able to tell if it was chicken guts or not. I mean, like if you said, "Oh, this is a disease that's inside your body," I'd be like, "Oh fuck, it looks like one."
True. I don't know my guts that well, mate.
I don't know my guts. I've never gutted a chicken.
Nah.
Have you ever gutted anything? I gutted a fish once.
I gutted a fish. Don't want to talk about it, but
damn it.
It's illegal. There's an ongoing lawsuit against me.
Aye, with the fishies?
Because the fish was actually
Nicholas Sturgeon.
A 14-year-old boy.
Like, oh god, good you look. You're fucking.
Imagine like you reached a level of like schizophrenia where that's like that Joseph Callinger. Like, see the one I was telling you about? Like, mate, I listened to the rest of that, right? And he would like go in. Him and his son, right? So let me tell you about Joseph Callinger very quickly before, because it's worth it, right? Joseph Callinger had like 3 sons, right? And he had a tiny dick, so and he thought the dick is where all your power was, right? So he seen out his son, one had the biggest dick, right? And then he made his like youngest son they killed the other ones, right? So it was just they 2 left, and then they would go out, right? And he would like trip out his nut, obviously like having mad hallucinations and that. He like mad things coming and saying like, you need to go in there and like tie this people, like you need to go in there and kill people and like cut them up and all that. So one day he went in. He went to this house, right? And he didn't shut the door. He thought, excuse me.
And he shut your willy up.
All right, come in, man. No, he went to this house and he like broke in with his son, right? And his son, like, he thought his son had all the power because his son had a bigger dick than him because he had a mad micro penis. And he goes into this house and he goes in and he's having hallucinations, like, tie this woman up, and he's like talking to the wall and all that. So imagine how scary that would be. He's like, oh, yes, and then he like ties her up. But the woman that he went to his house was having like a fucking dinner, like a party. So like he tied her up, and then more cunts just kept arriving into the house. So he kept everyone, he had to like take them up and tie them up. There was like 5 cunts just sitting, right? And obviously they're sitting like, we're going to die here, right? But he's like that, tripping out and all that, like, but he's like having all these mad delusions. He's with his son, right? Imagine how terrifying this is. And he ended up like he'd done some things to him, but he didn't kill. He just walked out. He just left them. Like, that's a proper head case,
that's
mate.
Fucking nuts, mate. So imagine you're going like that to somebody, like, mate, like, what are you in here for? And they're going, you know, actually be like if they weren't responding to you.
Bro, that is the exact mind. I told the story about the schizo nearly attacked me in that.
Aye.
That is exactly how I felt. Like, I was looking like, now the way I could look, even if you were like, I didn't know you and we met each other in the town and we were like arguing or something.
Fuck up, you dick.
Aye, like, I could look in your eyes and be like, you know what, we can like resolve this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they've got a look in their eyes that you're like, even.
I know exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
you mean?
You've got a bit of humanity in your eyes. See, like the way like a seagull looks, where you're like, you don't care, mate. You don't care. Like, you know, like you're looking at a seagull and you're like, there's nothing you could do to me that you would even feel slightly bad about.
Mate, that's how I feel about ocean creatures. Now I feel terrified of like dolphins and shit.
Aye, they're like otherworldly.
They're just like, sitting looking at you like mad nutters, man.
But dolphins are the one that isn't like that, man. They're just smiling.
Mate, dolphins rape cunts, mate.
But this guy, like, I was looking at him and he had the seagull eyes. He was like, why the fuck you fucking look at me weird up there and that? And I was looking at him and he was like, mate, he just looked like a goat or something. It was the weirdest encounter I've ever had. And he was like, next time bring a knife, and just walk away. And I was like, that is like the people now, like, hear about, I just got randomly killed by a mad nutter. Like, that is that cunt, you know what I mean?
Seagull goat character.
The seagull goat. I nearly get killed by a seagull.
That's your like worst nightmare, innit? Like a mad ornithological creature mixed with a goat.
Oh,
like, see if you were to design a mad villain, would it be like a pigeon on a goat's body?
I think it would have the morals of a crow, and it would be shaped like. Do you know what I would be terrified? No, what I hate, man. Like, see, like big. Yeah, I'm just imagining it. It's creeping me out. See, like imagine like a mad bird, right? A big, massive, hairy bird, right? But it's like I'm talking like 6.
No feathers.
I'm talking like 6'4",
like
right?
an ostrich.
But it's like Imagine like a guy that's 6'4" wearing a pure ultra realistic bird costume. That is my, and like, but it was like an actual thing. It wasn't a guy. That's terrifying to me.
I do know what you mean. See, because
birds are so like, yeah, they're not like they're not just like a lion where you're like, oh, it's walking to the left now. Like, bird can go anywhere, bro, in like a second.
I know exactly what you
do you know what I mean? They're so like if a seagull came in here, we'd be like, oh. But like, if a dog came in, you'd just be like,
oh, because it can fly. No, you
forget. Like, oh, it's like another thing that you can't do.
It's for another level.
Fucking creeping me out the room, man. But we have a video that we want to show of. We've got some of Joan's fake healings, and these are tremendous. This is right out the cult textbook. If you guys have read it, so even this is like when they were in San Francisco.
Looks like a good ass time to me,
The blacks and the whites getting on, so we will love to see.
Fucking beautiful, man. Oh, I like this.
I love when you watch videos. I think this is like the 60s or something in it. Is it like the 60s in it?
60s it will be, aye.
Everybody's got the same hair, man. It's not like, see, now you put like that many people in a room. You'd see like everybody be so different, and all the hair's the same. There he's there, the man.
It's conformity.
And you know what, mate? Like
a respectable gentleman, mate.
It looks like Robbie Rotten. Know what I'm talking about?
Lazy Town.
He died, R.I.P. Robbie. But let's listen.
Let's fill this atmosphere with warmth and love.
Hugging each other.
Beautiful thing.
Start with the hugs.
Hug your brothers, hug your sisters.
Now as we meditate,
if you blow a kiss at me, man, I'd faint.
Cream my pants, man.
Love is a healing remedy.
Yes, it is, man.
We're going to reach out to areas where man has seemed to have difficulty. As we concentrate that the gifts of the Holy Spirit might function, or what the secularist might speak of as the paranormal, let us believe. Let us believe. Sister Ingram, you're concerned about the losing of your sight. You're not able to see me clearly. Things just blur to you. You have to stumble around lately through crowds and are not able to see even people's faces close up to you clearly.
That's true.
You've told me nothing about your condition.
No, I haven't.
Can I just ask, did he like do that as if he was like reading their minds?
He's like, is it true that you are blind? It's just like, it's true.
But it's not as if that's been like previously spoke about. He's just like reading the room, and
he's like, you stand up and like,
I can tell you've lost your sight. Let's share that. Yeah, that's mental. That's another level.
Give that little sweetheart a little bit of love. Thank you, baby. Peace. Now, take your glasses off. Let's just dare in our faith. We've seen Sister Brown here who was blind, totally healed. Saw one of our sisters blind from her childhood. It could be hysterical blindness, whatever. We're not concerned. She was blind and could not see. Now, look at my face. I'm going to hold up some fingers. You concentrate hard. I love you. The people love you. And most importantly, Christ loves you. What do you see? How many fingers?
3.
One finger. You don't even need your glasses, child. Let's all be thankful as she cries back there. Let's cry and rejoice with her. Edie? Are your fingers numb? In your right hand. Having enormous headaches in your head.
Yes.
Reach your hands out. Reach your hand out to me. Reach the fingers out that are bothering you.
Look at her hand, she's getting on it.
Now, is the pain gone?
It's gone! It's gone!
I can't believe he's doing it across the room, bro.
It's such a basic thing, all like, are your fingers sore? And she's like, she's like, now are they sore? And she's like, no! The bass man's coming though.
See in the film, in the film he
just pause
did, in the film he did ones, it was like if somebody had a sore leg, and he'd be like, your leg was broken yesterday. And he'd go, now run, and he'd like touch them and then like fling them up and they'd like run away. But like I could like he was touching them, so I get how cunts would be like, oh, he's
they might
that.
feel something.
But he's just gone,
yeah. He's not even trying, bro. He's like, aye, what about now, man? That's like a doctor when you go, you're like, oh, I'm feeling horrible.
Many fingers my head nut.
Who's Willamette Conley? What a sensation about you. Did you once lose a loved one, I think the name of James?
Yes, that's my
He
brother.
was 14 years of age. And he was reading something, and someone asked him for what he had, and he didn't want to give it.
Yes,
and
he did.
that person shot him to death.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yes, he
I'm
did.
saying this to give you faith
Yes.
so that you can mount up, because you've been feeling pain here in the chest
Yes.
and in the back.
Yes.
And you injured your foot some time ago, and
Yes,
you've been
I
having
did.
constant pain in it, where you had to move around with a chair.
Yes, I did.
I do not know you, and you've told me or no one else the things I just mentioned.
No,
Is
you
that
sure
true?
haven't.
Now, where's your pain?
Don't mean it,
Imagine you were there seeing this, but in the 60s you'd be like, what the? Who's he done that?
It's so mental, bro. So creepy in a way, innit? It's just, see the man dancing and all that? This is the best one.
The doctor has relieved you from your work in the second row. You have a bad spinal condition,
Yes.
and your hip is injured.
Yes.
Step from your wheelchair. Begin to step from your wheelchair. Try it. Just try it. Just try it. We have nothing to lose. We have no face to lose, because we've said we're no panacea. But I have seen more healings here than I've ever seen any place. I love you. Jesus Christ loves you. Jehovah Jireh. All the goodness of all the world's great religions, in the name and the mercy and the goodness of Jesus, wherein I stand. Come forth, my dear. Stand up. Take that step. Bless your heart. Take that step. Take that step. Now.
Bro, it gets so much better.
Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward, darling. You can do it. Move forward. Move forward. Child.
Go, you're so good.
Just a moment, sir. I can just keep my love thought on her. Now, move forward. Freely, freely, freely. Now begin to exercise the hip. Begin to exercise the joint. I love you. Christ loves you. The people love you.
Now, sisters, walk briskly.
Walk briskly.
Walk briskly.
That's so bonkers, isn't it?
It's fucking nuts, mate.
Look, she's dancing, boy.
She's doing the chicken.
She's dancing, boy. She's moving, boy.
I start for the salad.
Look at him smiling.
But he's greeting and all that, like.
But the thing is, man, it's like people are. I would, mate. I would never believe that, mate.
Would you know?
But do you think that's like? Do you think like nobody could? People do it. It still happens, actually. Like mad religious. Oh, and come back to the front, my love. And, like, and they're like,
That's like they mad churches. It's like, do you feel? And they do that, and they like knock cunts out. They have plants in the audience.
Aye, exactly. But like, who is like falling for that?
Aye, no.
I would never fall. Would I be susceptible to a cult? Maybe in the right environment. Maybe if the temperature was maybe right, or like the average temperature of that month. But in the cult leader would need to be really, really special. But
they had heavy, nice tap water on that, like just like mad, just the small things. You know what I mean?
Aye.
Always have a full fridge and all that. You'd be like, oh, this cult's looking good, man.
Just bring me back to Jamie Dorn, but I don't want to get it. So as you can see for that video, this stuff actually worked, and the group's numbers kept increasing. The workload Jones kept led him to delving into amphetamines to stay awake and quaaludes to help him sleep, making his eyes permanently red. Right?
Oh, brilliant.
So you're taking that much shit that your eyes are like not even like bloodshot, like red, mate.
You get mad demon eye.
The colour red, like Clifford, mate. Know what I mean? Red like Clifford. I should write that in my next song. That's a bar. Yeah, girl got me red like Clifford.
And I leave your shirt red like Clifford.
She got me cranky like Jimmy.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I thought you were going to start.
I love it when she pull up in the Bentley.
That's not what I expected you to say.
And I love the way she throw it back like that.
Oh,
You
yeah,
get me?
just like that.
You get me?
When she throws it right back.
When she throws it back, I can't contain myself.
Oh, I just know.
And I was up at Sandra's last night. She was throwing it back, and I thought, God, the neighbours are going to see. But so his eyes were always red, and this is why he always wore sunglasses. So if you've seen a picture of Jim Jones, maybe the picture you said like the picture in your head of him is like him with the sunglasses in it. It's like people automatically see him with the sunglasses, and this is the reason that he always wore sunglasses. That, as you see the famous picture behind us right now, he wore them all the time, right? So it's obviously because he was full of drugs, right? Aye. But as the greats do, this is no why he told his followers that, he didn't say. I mean, you imagine you're Jim Jones, you got all these followers, you're trying to put your mark in the world, and you're like, no, I'm full of drugs. Your members are going to be like, why do you need to take drugs? You're Jim Jones. You should be naturally. So he couldn't say that. So instead of opting to tell them the truth, he said to them that he'd reached such divinity and pureness that if he looked them in the eye, they would be permanently blinded by the light.
Yep, that makes sense.
The balls to just say that, mate. The balls to just be like, nah, no. They're like, what's wrong? You tired? And you're like, no, I know what it is.
I'll tell you. You ain't gonna get tired? No.
I'm Jim Jones, for God damn it.
I'll tell you what it is. If you looked into my eyes, you wouldn't be able to handle it, mate. No. You can't handle the scandal.
It's too much light, mate.
See the light in my eyes, mate.
Saying you wake up my mum, turned the big light on, mate.
Oh, mate.
That's basically what happened, mate. That meant so obviously got kept morning. But that's why he told them that his sunglasses were on. But after that, round about this time, Father Divine died. And Jones, in an attempt to gain more followers for his own movement, tried to take over the peace mission movement. So that was the movement that Father Divine was the leader of, sort of African American thing going on there. But he turned up at one of their ceremonies, and he marched in and proclaimed to Mother Divine, so this is the new wife, that Father Divine's soul had been placed into his body so he could remain in charge of the church.
Oh, right.
So he went in and said, so they're in the middle of their fucking ceremony thing, right? And he marches in and goes, no, I need to say something. I mean, ding, 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 ding. And he's like, what it is, Mother Divine?
Do you know how the soul that you have in your body is no actual yours?
Aye.
And that get transferred? You never guess what happens to me, Father Divine.
Honestly, never gonna guess.
We got in an elevator at the same time and a storm happened and I got switched.
And when he died, I mean, I feel him inside me, so I'll just take care of all of this.
Aye.
I can just take this if you want.
That sound, aye.
Aye. Well, it wasn't brand new, mate, actually, no. So Mother Divine obviously been in on this original scam. She took part in the last scam. She knew this was bullshit and she just told Jones to leave, which led to just an awkward stare off. They're just staring at each other, just like,
alright,
it's going to happen. And then they went back and forth with him trying to convince her, no, mate, you don't listen to this lady. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Father Divine, can you not see? And
a preacher.
Aye, and she's like that. Nah, he's full of shit. So he's been told to fuck off. He leaves and he goes back to his people, but he's still in San Francisco at this moment in time, right? But he's like, nah, we need to get out of here soon, like we need to move away. And this is like him further trying to like isolate the people, because the more you isolate the people, the more in control they don't have. He's trying to take them away from their families, their jobs. But he's trying to play it off as like, this is for the greater good. So somewhere he was looking at was, as I mentioned before, French Guiana. And around about this time, he was planning to move away somewhere. They had recently gained independence from Britain. And with border disputes against Venezuela and literally no army of their own to defend Guyana, the country agreed to let Jones proceed in building a community there. So their thinking is like the Guyanese government, I'm guessing, if they were thinking like, if we've got Americans living at the border, it would deter Venezuela for getting involved, because obviously if they go and kill
an American citizen,
it's like then America's involved, so it's like an added layer of fucking protection for them. So Jones also recently gained political power in San Francisco after helping the mayor gain the votes of the African American community, leading him to victory in the election. So he's helped him win the election, because obviously he's got like a lot of black followers, so he can like just be like that, no, this guy's all right. It's like a big chunk of the vote, so that's what swayed the election. So now he's got like powerful people that have got his back, and because he's like making inroads with these powerful people, he's getting more and more freedom and sway and money as well. Do you know what I mean? Because
they like owe him a favour.
Aye, so now he's got them in his back pocket, so he's getting more freedom to kind of just do whatever he wants. So in 1974, they made the move to French Guiana. On the surface, everything seemed rosy with the People's Temple. However, behind closed doors, things were getting dark. With Jones' constant drug use and thirst for more and more power, members were being subjected to regular beatings for disobeying any of Jim's orders. He also impregnated countless women in the group and forced them into having abortions. However, during the process of building the community in Guyana, so he's not moved there yet, an article from a well-respected San Francisco journalist was in the works. Jones caught wind that several members had leaked the dark side of the group to the press, and soon an article was to be published that would almost definitely destroy him. So acting quickly, he told his followers they must move to Guyana immediately. And before the article was published, Jones was already in Guyana. And this is where things start to take a nosedive into total madness. So like some of his members had like fucking leaked it to the press, and they'd put like a big they were going to release a big fucking article about him, like, this guy's know who you think he is, because he was becoming, obviously with the political power and that, he was becoming like a bigger and bigger figure in that community. So they were going to take him down, and he's like, oh, I'm fucked, we need to get out of here. So he moved in 1974, and he took about 500 members initially, because some people didn't want to go. There was about 3,000 members at the time, and not everybody wanted to go. Obviously, everybody was like, because there's some members that are like in like bigger groups like that. You get like when there's thousands, you'll get people like on the mid periphery where they're like in, but they're not like, I'll follow you anywhere. Like,
I get you.
They're like, I'm not moving there. So he took about 500, and then it ended up like just over 1,000 gradually. But Guyana's dense jungle was not suitable for building on top of or growing food. This meant that all members were forced into help building the commune, and if anyone complained about anything at all, they would be taken in front of Jones' private council, where they would be subject to horrendous beatings. Jones would go on to build an isolation chamber, a tiny room with no light or windows, where members who disobeyed would be placed for days at a time. Jonestown, which was billed as the promised land to his followers, soon turned into Jim Jones' dark playground.
Brother, he's built a like a Texan prison.
Aye,
like a mad
man.
hole.
And he's the governor.
Aye. A week in the hole, boy.
That is it. Basically, is that.
But aye. So as you said, this was turning a bit mad for young Jim. He made frequent addresses to the temple members regarding Jonestown's safety. So as you spoke about, he was getting dead paranoid, and it's obviously just got worse because he's constantly on it and all that. So because he's pure paranoid, he started making these addresses talking about how the CIA and other intelligence agencies were like out to destroy them, and it was on like guard already. Do you know what I mean? Like right for the AF in French Guiana. So after work, when emergencies arose, the temple sometimes conducted what Jones referred to as white nights. So he would get all these people, like, after like they've done a pure shift, they would get them into the main hut
when they're tired and that,
and just talk and just get everybody else like ready for an invasion or whatever else, or these articles to come out.
Aye, it's always like catching them, like when you're tired, you're mad, you're vulnerable to mad shit, you can't think straight in that.
And you're just like, this makes sense a bit. No, I mean, I've just built a hut. Like.
Aye.
But so he would sometimes give the members 4 options. Attempt to flee to the Soviet Union. So like he was getting in with like Soviet Russia and shit. So that was their when these emergencies happen, we can either flee to the Soviet Union, commit revolutionary suicide, stay in Jonestown and fight the purported attackers, or flee into the jungle. So like he was giving these cunts, he was like, when this shit happens, we've got 4 options and this is what you're sticking to, and they're all like, aye, fuck it, man. Like,
what were you saying, mate?
But as you said, he would always study Father Divine's like teachings and shit, and like just learn how to manipulate people. But he also learned a good bit of one Adolf Hitler. He used to study his work on how to kind of manipulate and how to like lead a group and shit. And Divine told Jones personally to find an enemy and make sure they know who the enemy is, as it will unify the group and make them subservient to him.
Knowledge.
So, aye, that's it.
Big unk dropping knowledge.
On at least 2 occasions during White Nights, after a revolutionary suicide vote was reached, a simulated mass suicide was rehearsed. Temple defector Deborah Layton described the event in a statement. She said, "Everyone, including the children, was told to line up. As we passed through the line, we were given a small glass of red liquid to drink. We were told that the liquid contained poison and that we would die within 45 minutes. We all did as we were told. When the time came that we should have dropped dead, Reverend Jones explained that the poison was not real and that we had just been through a loyalty test. He warned us that the time was not far off where it would be necessary for us to die by our own hands."
Yeah, that is mad, because that means the time they actually done it, they might have thought it was like just a test, innit?
But he's like, it's mad, but in it, because he's like, see the way like military training, they'll like put them through tear gas and all that, and it's like so that when it really comes to that, you don't panic.
It's a drill.
It's like the first, like I was watching guys like Navy SEALs not talking, they were like, the first time you encounter tear gas shouldn't be in like actual a real situation. You should have dealt with it before that to know what to do.
So you think Jones is thinking like the first time that you are faced with death by a wee drink shouldn't be real? Like you should have training for this.
I need to build up your mentality towards this to like know you would actually do it.
Aye, but obviously that was fake. But the temple had received monthly £5 shipments of cyanide since 1976, after Jones obtained a jeweller's licence to buy the chemical, supposedly to clean gold. In May 1978, a temple doctor wrote a memo to Jones asking permission to test cyanide on Jonestown's pigs, as their metabolism was close to that of human beings. So they're seeing if it works, know what I mean?
Does cyanide work, mate? It does.
They're seeing how much they'll need to like kill every cunt, but so they've been getting shipments of this shit in and just stockpiling it. Do you know what I mean? This is like thought out. He's like preparing for this day, mate.
Preparation, mate. Which, you know, you can't fault him.
No, you cannot. Prepare to fail to prepare or something. Jones started getting fully a lot more often, which took his paranoia at a whole new level, making him more fearful of a government raid in the commune. He was voicing concerns that the community would not be able to resist an attack. Jones would call alert over the community loudspeaker to call the community together in the central pavilion armed guards with guns and crossbows surrounded the pavilion, so it's no paradise anymore. You know what I mean?
It does sound like it.
One of these drills, as we were saying, lasted 6 days, and it's known as the 6-day siege. The ordeal was used thereafter by Jones as a symbol of the community's spirit. For days on end, frightened townsfolk ringed the commune, armed with machetes and whatever crude tools that could serve as weapons. Surrounding them, Jones claimed, were mercenaries hell-bent on murder, as well as the abduction of Jones's son John Victor Stone and others. Jones's wife and others outside of the commune engaged in interminable shortwave radio conversations with Jones, seeking to dissuade him from ordering a mass suicide. So this is all going on in this like 6 days, and like people are like, mate, calm down.
Because they're not even like they're obviously no sleeping or like doing anything.
I mate, like in the film, like what was the film I watched again? It's called The Paradise Lost. It's fucking, it's class. In that, it's like people are going like, they're all shattered, you're shattered. Like,
just
can we
wrap
just stop
it,
this, please? The panic reached such a point that an evacuation was ordered by Jones, with dozens of townfolk hastily loaded onto boats on the George River. The destination of this exodus was Cuba. Several people fell in the river, suffering injuries. At last, Jones bowed to pressure. The drill ended. Veterans of the siege were then held in high regard in Jonestown, and their courage on the front line was tearfully recalled by Jones in numerous addresses. So he's like, he's talking about like,
proud of this.
He's like, yous are all fucking class, man. See the way yous just went through all that, by the way. Yous are all unreal.
But it's mad, innit? Because like you put them through like hell, and then you're like I'm so proud of you. And like for them to get him to be like, I'm so proud, that's like the pure, oh my god, like. And like, because obviously as soon as you do one wee bad thing, he's like battering you and shit. Well, he's no, but like, he's getting people to do shit to you, and so it's like a mad thing of like how the extremes of human emotion. It's like getting them so tired and starving and hungry and like no sleeping days, and they're knackered, and then being like, no, but that was like the best thing we've ever done. And you're like, it's so that you're like, I'll do it again if you need me.
Mate, that's what I was thinking about. Like, he's done that so that he's made that so fucked in such a horrible like week, like a full week of actual torture, so he can be like, they'll do anything else from ever again. Do you know what I mean? But do you think, like, know how you were saying, like, when people are tired and hungry and all that, do you think he thought shit like this out?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he's obviously smart. Like, he's obviously knows, he's no stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't, this is the thing with people, you can't really get a, he might not, I don't know how to put it, like, you don't get stupid cult leaders, because like, they've got to be smart in some way. And he's the same as Manson. He realised what people needed to hear and what they wanted to hear about themselves, and he knew that like, immediately. Like, he knew he could read you like a book, and that's what they can all do. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's thought about it's easiest to manipulate people when they're at their weakest. Like, that's when you can implant what you think, and you know, it doesn't surprise me.
Aye, definitely. But his paranoia then sparked another idea for a mass exodus and a relocation of the temple. After the 6-day siege, Jones no longer believed the Guyanese could be trusted. So he directed temple members to write over a dozen foreign governments inquiring about immigration policies for another exodus of the temple. He also wrote to the State Department inquiring about North Korea and Albania. This was like during this, you know, Albanian split. It was a pure fucked place. So I think he's kind of gone for places.
He like, targets everything that's vulnerable. Even like in his early days, like going to the black communities and being like, I mean, it did say like he started off with good intentions, but it's as if he knew, like he knew who was weak, and he's like, they're the people you can get to.
Aye, definitely. But so I think at this point, like he is doing these like revolutionary suicides and like talking about having to do shit like this. But I think he is pure wanting to go somewhere that he'll just get left alone with everything a wee bit. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, but probably like, but no with good intentions.
No, I'm not saying. No, he's actually still quite sound, but like he is obviously still wanting to be a mad nuts leader. But it's probably just he doesn't want to be that close to America or whatever. That close to a mad Western superpower. So in Georgetown, which was like close to, that was like the closest city, it's the capital, I think. The People's Temple conducted frequent meetings with the embassies of the Soviet Union, North Korea, Yugoslavia and Cuba. So that's all very like, that's communist nations in it. So negotiations with the Soviet embassy included extensive discussions about a possible resettlement there. The temple produced a list of potential places within the USSR that they might go to. So during the summer of 1978, Jones sought the legal services of Mark Lane and Donald Fried, both Kennedy assassination conspiracy theorists, to help make a case of a grand conspiracy by the US intelligence agencies against the temple. Jones told Lane that he wanted to pull an Eldridge Cleaver and return to the US after repairing his reputation. In September 1978, Lane spoke to the residents of Jonestown, providing support for Jones's theories and comparing him to famed civil rights movement leader Martin Luther King.
Big Martin.
So yeah, see that's kind.
So basically, he's got these like. So he's maybe feeling the pressure a bit, and he's like getting these people in who are like, no, like these are like top dog. And is this to like get the mad accusations of shit that's going on at half his name?
So this is people that at the time were like famous for like being, I don't know how you compare them to the now, but quite contrarian, and like with the Kennedy assassinations, they were like, oh no, it's a conspiracy. I get like this was the CIA and all that.
But they're no mad fry people. They're actual like mad good.
They were like high up in the pure system. Do you know what I mean? So people like that's what I mean. They were quite big names at this time. And he got them to hold a press conference stating that none of the charges against the temple are accurate or true, and that there was a massive conspiracy against the temple by intelligence organisations, naming the CIA and the FBI. Though Lane presented himself as a disinterested party, Jones was actually paying him $6,000 a month to generate such theories. So he's got wedge, isn't he?
But this is what interests me about guys like this. Now the thing you're talking about the sickies, like that mad thing of like, this is quite wrong. I mean, there's just none of that in him.
Moral compass.
It's all like, how can I? It's nothing about like, you know what, I shouldn't have done that, or this is wrong. Like, it's just like, how can I keep growing? How can I keep these people? And that's what you see the kind of common thread with them all. They don't have that.
They've not got that marker.
This is bad.
I shouldn't be doing this.
It's just like, how can I get more?
Mate, do you want to tell us a bit about the investigations that came forward?
Yes, if you want. So Leo Ryan, a congressman who represented California's 11th congressional district, announced that he would visit Jonestown. Ryan was friends with father of Bob Houston, a temple member in California whose mutilated body was found near train tracks on October 5th, 1976, 3 days after a taped telephone conversation with Houston's ex-wife in which leaving the temple was So
he's obviously pally with this cunt whose boy was a temple member, and he was found dead after on the phone like, I need to get out of here and all that. And so this Leo Ryan guy was like obviously you said he was a congressman, so he's pure high up, and he's like, no, I'm going there
to see what's going on. And that's like, I mean, think about this like these days, right? All young Rishi Sunak. Imagine there's fucking his pal son's joined a cult, right? And he's like, oh, I need to go there, and then he dies. Can you see Rishi Sunak going, you know what, I'm going there and I'm going to sort that out? He'd be like that. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, I can imagine, but it's a bit more like American to be like, I'm going to go there and I'm going
to see what this is all about, baby.
All the TV cameras on him and that. Like, I'm going to expose this cult for what it is.
So when Ryan arrived in Guyana, they were initially refused access to Jonestown. However, by the morning of November 17th, they informed Jones that Ryan would likely leave for Jonestown that afternoon, regardless of his willingness. Jones started to prepare for Leo Ryan and his team of delegates to arrive. He instructed his son, Stefan Jones, to form a basketball team. So just one of the 24-hour overnight basketball teams. So he's starting to like, he's like, no, we need to make this look like, well, it's not a hellhole.
Get out and paint that fence. Get Leo Ryan coming.
Fucking Leo Ryan's on a jet, man. So he's trying to spruce the place up and make it look slightly better than things are going. So he forms his basketball team overnight, and a game between the Jonestown All-Stars and the Guyana national team was set up in Georgetown. Jim knew that congressmen and reporters would be there. He didn't want anyone to show any signs of depression or fear or anything. And he told his son, anybody is capable of putting a bullet in your head or my head. If you see any of those liars, stay away. You don't want anything to do with them. And also, Jones mock interviewed people, manipulating them into saying the right thing. On arrival, multiple people stepped forward and asked to be escorted out of Jonestown by the Ryan delegation. So when the plane landed, they're like, nah, I'm out of here. Like, no, I'm not even putting this act on. Like, I want out of here. And obviously it's a congressman, so they're like, you help me. Like, you're a member of the government.
And like, you being here, they won't do anything. Like, see if they just walk up in front of everybody and be like, mate, I need out of here. What are they going to do?
They can't be like, no, because they need to keep up their mad act.
Exactly.
And when Jones' adopted son Johnny attempted to talk Jerry Parks out of leaving, Parks told him, no way, it's nothing but a communist prison camp. Under intense pressure, Jones gave the two families permission to leave. So, as you're saying, like, it can't be like, no, you're not fucking leaving. He's like, no, you can leave. But he would teach people there that, like, that if anybody leaves here, they are the ultimate enemy. Like, this is like, it's like the worst thing you could ever do.
And he would say, like, if you're wanting to leave, then you're wanting to destroy what we've got here.
It was like an act. It wasn't just like, oh, they want like freedom. It was like an act of like, no, they're trying to destroy what we've got here. So they're immediately like the enemy. After a sudden violent rainstorm started, emotional scenes developed between family members. Al Simon, a Native American temple member, attempted to take two of his children to Ryan to process the requisite paperwork for transfer back to the United States. Al's wife Bonnie was a fucking nutcase and was fully bought into Jim Jones and his theories. On the loudspeakers, she denounced her husband. Al pleaded with Bonnie to return to the US, but she rejected his suggestions.
Mate, I thought that...
You're gonna regret that.
Mate, I thought that was mad because, like, that's like two people, a husband and wife. You'd think they'd be either
on the same page
or out at the girl. She's like, wait, you're leaving?
You're not?
Where's that big speaker? I publicly denounce this cunt.
He's a fucking worse cunt.
He's a bastard.
See that cunt? He's a shite rider.
Change his Facebook chat status to single.
Imagine it in Jonestown. Mind you could set your mad thing like that.
What?
Like on it, could you not do that? No, that was like active and busy. No, I'm thinking like you could do a drop down menu and it was like taken.
No, that's like Facebook.
But mind you, that drop down menu and it was like you could be like busy right now and it put a mad red thing next to your name.
It's complicated.
No, that's the Facebook ones. But I think I had always had mine on like busy. On MSN, like, can't try to be cool.
Do not disturb.
Don't disturb. Well, most of Ryan's delegation began to depart on a large dump truck to the Port Kaituma, I think you would say it, airstrip. Ryan stayed behind in Jonestown to process any additional defectors. So do you mind Larry, who was wanting to get on the first plane?
Mental Larry.
Mad Larry. So after that was about to take off, he turned around with a handgun and started shooting at the passengers. So he was bad news. He was obviously infiltrated.
So like they've sent him there, hitman.
Exactly. So that, like, you would think that would be the end of it, but then the second plane that had more passengers on it was a bigger plane. A tractor with a trailer attached, driven by the members of the Temple's Red Brigade security squad, arrived at the airstrip and started unloading fucking shotgun rounds into them.
Fucking hell, so mate. He was prepared for it, mate.
Handguns, rifles and shotguns. Well, at least 2 shooters circled the plane on foot. There was supposedly 9 shooters whose identities are not known.
So what one was Leo Ryan on the first plane?
So Leo Ryan was on the first plane, so that was, and I think it was a plan, obviously, and it was supposed to be that while the plane was in the air, Larry would shoot the pilot and the plane would go down and they would all die. But Larry, before it's even taking off, just like bang, 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 shooting every cunt. So it's came back to, at that point, that's obviously, that news is filtered back to Jim Jones, and on his mind it must just be the mass suicides are in full effect now.
And this is obviously leading towards the fucking end of this shit. Like, once you kill a congressman on your patch, mate,
paradise is done, mate.
So a 44-minute cassette tape known as the Death Tape, which is obviously a great name.
It's a good name for like a death metal band or something.
Aye, maybe no a religious group. So the Death Tape records part of the meeting Jones called inside the pavilion in the early evening of November 18th, 1978. When the assembly gathered, referring to the Ryan's delegation air travel back to Georgetown, Jones told the gathering, "One of those people on that plane is going to shoot the pilot, I know that. I didn't plan it. I know what's going to happen. They're going to shoot that pilot and down comes the plane into the jungle. And we had better not have any of our children left when it's over, because they'll parachute in here on us. So he's saying, like, they're coming, we're fucked. We're all going to die now. Like, your children are going to die. Oils are going to die. It's fucked.
Aye. But he's still keeping up the pretense of, like, I've not planned this, right?
Aye,
but I can just feel it.
I know it's happening.
Something's going to happen.
Trust me.
Do you know the only solution to this? We'll kill ourselves.
Aye, that is the best solution. So, on the tape, Jones urged temple members to commit revolutionary suicide, the act that had been planned by the temple before and according to Jones' defectors. Its theory was you can go down in history saying you chose your own way to go, and it is your commitment to refuse capitalism and support of socialism.
Fucking brilliant, man. That's a fucking pep talk and a half.
Fucking ready to do it right now, bro. So yes, the mass suicides. So temple member Christine Miller argued that the temple should alternatively attempt an airlift to the Soviet Union. Jim McIlvaine, a former therapist who had arrived in Jonestown only 2 days earlier, assisted Jones by arguing against Miller's resistance to suicide, stating, "Let's make it a beautiful day."
Oh man,
so dark,
isn't it?
And later citing possible reincarnation.
Possible.
Aye,
no, I mean, there's a chance.
Can't I say it's no possible?
It could happen. After several exchanges in which Jones argued that a Soviet exodus would not be possible, along with reactions by other temple members hostile to Miller, she backed down. However, Miller may have ceased dissenting when Jones confirmed at one point that the congressman has been murdered. According to escaped temple member Odell Rhodes, the first to take the poison were Rouletta Paul and her 1-year-old infant. 1-year-old, man. A syringe without a needle fitted was used to squirt poison into the infant's mouth, after which Paul squirted another syringe into her own mouth. Stanley Clayton also witnessed mothers with their babies first approach the tub containing the poison. Clayton said that Jones approached people to encourage them to drink the poison, and that after adults saw the poison begin to take effect, they showed a reluctance to die.
So they're seeing people pure convulsion on the ground and all that.
I think he was telling them as well, we're going to go peacefully, it's going to be beautiful and all that, and they're like,
just foaming at the mouth.
He's like, don't worry, they're at peace. This is pure joy.
This is not pure joy.
They're literally like, this is so bad.
I'm not at peace.
He's like, don't listen to them, they don't have a clue what to do. They want you to do it, they're brothers and sisters. So he's just killed a 1-year-old. The poison caused death within 5 minutes for children, less for babies, pussies, and an estimated 20 to 30 minutes for adults. After consuming the poison, according to Rhodes, people were then escorted away down a wooden walkway leading outside the pavilion. It is not clear if some initially thought the exercise was another white night rehearsal. Rhodes reported being in close contact with dying children. In response to reactions of seeing the poison take effect in others, Jones ordered everyone to die with a degree of dignity. Lie down with your life with dignity. Don't lay down with tears and agony.
Fucking man up.
I know, fucking get a grip, man.
Yeah, that's just very undignified.
But it's like what you said earlier. It's like they could have probably thought, most of them probably thought it was another drill. Do you know what I mean? Just to test. But that's what they drills do to you.
They probably thought they were going to another world in it.
Aye, fuck knows, man. But Andy also said, I tell you, I don't care how many screams you hear. I don't care how many anguish cries. Death is 1,000,000 times preferable to 10 more days of this life. If you knew what was ahead of you, you'd be glad stepping over tonight. So he's still like manipulating them and going, wait, hold on, you don't want to die.
Are you not actually up for dying, mate?
Mate, what are you doing?
You still want to live here? On earth?
But he's got such a mad way with what, like, the way he says it is like, oh, aye.
As if he knows what's ahead of them and all, do you know what I mean? Like, see if like, forces did parachute in on them or whatever he was saying, like, 90% of that place would have got help and, like, other shit, like, do you know what I mean? It wouldn't have been like, yous are all criminals. It would have been like, this cunt's nuts.
Aye,
like,
we're gonna get you here.
I'm sorry yous have had to do
that. They're gonna kill us all, man. Aye. So Rhodes described a scene of both hysteria and confusion as parents watched their children die from the poison. He also stated that most present quietly waited their own turn to die, and that many of the assembled temple members walked around like they were in a trance. Survivor Tim Carter has suggested, like a previous practice, that day's lunch of grilled cheese sandwiches may have been tainted with sedatives. This crowd was surrounded by armed guards offering members the basic dilemma of death by poison or death by a guard's hand. Cries and screams of children and adults were easily heard on the tape recording made. As more temple members died, eventually the guards themselves were called in to die by poison.
I bet they were like, oh fuck, us I know.
Wait, no, we're the guards, but who's going to guard everything?
We've got these guns and that. And he's like, I'll take those back now.
But we're the guards, man. We're your guards. Jones was found dead, lying next to his chair in the pavilion between two other bodies, his head cushioned by a pillow. His death was caused by a gunshot wound to his left temple that Guyanese Chief Medical Examiner Leslie Mutu stated was consistent with being self-inflicted. So he's shot himself. He didn't, and I think it was a case of like he was scared to take the poison.
He's seen what all the other people went through, and I was like, fuck. Easy way out. Imagine how much more, like, what do you think's more fucked, right? Like, all these members, now when you see the videos of the helicopters flying air and it's like just bodies lying in the ground, and it's just like they've all like drank poison. Do you think that's more like weird and disgusting than like just a mad like firing?
It's more eerie.
Isn't it?
Because like when you see somebody that's been like shot dead
by a firing squad or something,
it makes sense in your brain. You're like, they're dead, there's the blood. It's like, even though it's horrible, it's
also you think
sense.
Like, oh, they've done something bad, or like they've had a disagreement and that's happened. But when you see it's all suicide by like,
there's no blood or that, they're all just like, lying peacefully almost.
Mate, it's weird. It's weird as fuck.
Yeah, it's weird. So the events at Jonestown constituted the greatest single loss of American civil life in a deliberate act until the events of September 11, 2001. 914 people dead by command of a maniacal lunatic. So
R.I.P.
So that's crazy, man. And R.I.P. or the 914 as they call them.
That's a street name.
Absolutely mental, mate. What we're saying, I mean, he actually got 900 and mate, I don't even know 900 people.
I know.
And he got 914
like,
to just kill himself.
Like
by going up themselves. But I, like as well, like what happened as well is like people that didn't want to do it and they were just like, nah, you're doing it. You know what I mean? There was like people that were, there was people that,
how many?
Because the survivors said like, I can't remember, it was like a percentage or whatever, but it was like the survivors said that there was like 914, there was like 800 that done it voluntary, which is like a crazy number.
That's mad.
Like basically all of them done it.
See, I was going to say, I bet it was like 60%.
No, mate, it was much higher.
Mate, that blows my mind, man.
There's only some that were like, I don't know if this is right. They're like,
mate, see when you compare this to like what happened with like any other cult, I know we'll probably do like that Japanese one that we spoke about before and that.
Kelly and that.
The Kelly one, but like, see when you actually think about what this guy got cunts to do, and it's not even just one. Like, see if I could convince one person. I don't want to, but like, imagine having that much power to one person and then times it by 900
as well. But like, this is a crazy thing. Like, see these people, they have, so Jim Jones, right, he had like a talent, right, but he just used it in the worst way possible. So like, he was like if he channeled these skills into something positive, he would have been like a mad good leader. Like, he would have like, but he just done it in the fucking most. He done the most evil thing you could do with it.
Aye, it's mad as well because I don't see what gain he got. Like, really,
it was just. I think he
just feeding the mad greed.
I think as well it was a bit about like. I think like he was basically batshit crazy by the end of it. Like if you think about the mad, because I think when they're in San Francisco and they're kind of he's mental obviously, but he's at the same time he's like still like, I know I'm in control of like, what's happening here. But is that by the end of that, the last 4 days and that, he's not even in control. Like he's scrambling about and he's like, what can I do next? And it's just it's like Manson when they had to go to the desert. It's like, right, now you're losing your grip on this.
Yeah, you're just grasping for straws. Mate, it's mad that happened within, like, say, for when I started talking about, like, the investigations and all that was only, like, 3 or 4 days, know what I mean?
They weren't there for long. They really, they weren't even there, like, a year, mate. Like, I don't think.
And then somebody's, like, I think about the mad chaos. Like, so things were good enough in San Francisco to get 1,000 people to come with him there. Think about how much it's went downhill in that short space of time. Do you know what I mean? Because everything must have been sound if cunts are agreeing to fly with him to South America.
It must have been sound. It must have been sound enough for them to think like, let's go, it will be good. Do you know what I mean? I think that's like where they get people, because it's like, see, if you talk to people, like, I bet there was a period in time, like the Manson family, you watch documentaries about the Manson family, they're like, there was mad good aspects to it, and that's how they got people in, and then it just flipped on them. But we'll get a bit about the survivors here.
Aye, mate, I just wanted to include this because it shows the amount we were talking about how he was quite powerful in that. This shows the amount of dough he had, which is, it's mental to me. So 3 high-ranking temple survivors claimed that they were given an assignment and thereby escaped death. Tim Carter and his brother Mike were given a luggage bag containing $550,000 in US currency and 130,000 in Guyanese currency.
550,000
in US dollars, right?
Fucking hell.
Gets madder, mate. So it was this was in an envelope which they were told to deliver to the Soviet embassy in Jonestown. The envelope contained 2 passports and 3 instructional letters. The first of which was to Timofeyev, stating, "Dear Comrade Timofeyev, the following letters of instructions regarding all of our assets that we want to leave to the Communist Party of the USSR. Enclosed in this letter are letters which instruct the banks to send cashier's checks to you. I am doing this on behalf of the People's Temple because we as communists want our money to benefit the oppressed people all over the world, or in any way your decision-making body sees fit. The letters included listed accounts with balance in total in excess of $7.3 million to be transferred to the Communist Party of the Soviet Union." How mental is that, mate?
He just basically bought everybody, didn't he, man?
But he's just like leaving 8 million to them just for like, and that's in the 50s. So how much is that? How did he have so much dough?
Well, what he done?
Thought he could cure cancer.
But he got like, see, all his members, like he took all their money and all, basically.
So took all their wages and that, didn't he? So he's got like,
and like if you think about when he went to San Francisco and all these mad wealthy white people joined his group, and like he was like, "Oh, I'll give you money to your brothers and sisters," and it's just these like in the back pocket.
He did it all, mate, and he's got it all in like offshore accounts, different bank accounts, and all right. My cunt was up to madness, man.
That would be 80 million a day.
It's a lot of dough for a nutter to have, mate. But I just wanted to include that wee bit just to kind of show the fucking power he had behind him. I know, wasn't he just a mad nutter with a school bus like Manson? You know what I mean?
He like actually acquired like power and status and wealth, and it's great. Do you think that could happen these days?
I don't know, mate, but is there no like, did Jared Leto know have a mad cult? Like, the famous cunts know sometimes try and splinter into mad cults.
What about Ezra Miller? You heard about that?
Aye.
Mate, it's like he's trying to start one almost, but he can't quite get it up and running. It's like he keeps trying to do, but he keeps getting shit with like,
get it up
he's just struggling to get off the ground.
How's that wee shop you've got? Oh, I just can't get it going.
He's joined Investor Watch and that, right? He's like, "Man, can I raise some funds here, man?
Hustlers University."
Aye. I need to get this cult on the go.
But I think it could happen, mate. I think especially
just in a different sort of context, like just in a different...
Mate, I don't know, because like, see if somebody, say a mad celebrity that I pure loved was like, here, like everything's fucked now. Like, see if you're like, yeah, it's fucked. Like the UK, you know, it's heavy fucked. He's like, we've bought a wee island, like just off Ireland,
and here's what we're going to do. We're going to be equal. We're going to share everything.
Mate, I wouldn't go obviously, but I would be. I'm listening. Know what I mean?
Mate, if I seen a couple of blue ticks on Twitter talking about it, I'd be there, bro. Cut the Guardian retweeted it or something, bro. I'd be there.
Couple of crypto bros.
Financial Times, mate.
We're off.
The FT, bro. If the FT retweet, I'm there, man.
The Fire Festival full time, innit?
It's like, it would be like Fire Festival.
I thought that, it would turn into a bit of a disaster. It's kind of like when we were talking about that Woodstock king, like back in the 60s, Woodstock's a mad amazing thing. Now, with all the mad, like the white cunts are
cultural changes,
full of gear and all that, it would just turn into a pure mess.
The only place that I think I could see myself going, mate, and living forever, apart from here, Jamie Dorn, bro.
Oh.
He's brought it back. See, that's why you get the big bucks, bro.
We're all going to Jamie Dorn this summer.
This summer.
Jamie lives in Jamie Dorm. But troops, that is the story Jim Jones.
Absolute madness.
The People's Temple. 914 bodies. Voluntarily. Fucking hell,
Can
man.
Jim even claim them, do you think? See if he was like, say he was in the jail, many people you killed. 914 tiered blood
I didn't kill them. They killed themselves.
Definitely the CIA, man. Definitely the CIA.
Here, there's a website about like how Jonestown's fake. And it's all a conspiracy and it's a CIA hanging on it.
Right, get it up.
Right, so we've got the Jonestown was fake website. So it says, it's just a bunch of like links, and then it says, Jonestown was a CIA experiment to determine whether it was possible to establish a large mind-controlled slave labour force. Jim Jones was a CIA operative and former housing commissioner for San Francisco. Ukiah District Attorney Tim Stone was assigned the task of procuring state mental patients and transferring their guardianship to the People's Temple. Assisting Jones was former police chief Dan Mitrione, a contract CIA operative who had previously instructed Brazilian and Bolivian security personnel in advanced torturing techniques. And then it just keeps going down, like the People's Temple parishioners did not commit suicide. And it's got like suicide in like quotation marks.
They didn't commit suicide, mate.
There's
having a wee nap out in the lawn.
Still there, mate.
That Kool-Aid was sound.
Have you been to Guyana, fuck's sake? No, exactly. How do you know that?
You're just believing what you're told again,
mate,
bro.
that just proves that like even the maddest stuff that did happen, people are like, nah. What, you actually believe that, mate?
You actually believe that happened?
900 odd people lying in a field dead in Guyana. What, you actually think that happened,
Wake up, mate. Wake up.
Need to wake up. Bat Troops, we hope you enjoyed. Patreon, we love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the cause.
Thanks for everything.
We've got more beautiful stuff coming next month. We've got a UK-based conspiracy, sort of, maybe a wee bit of alien abductions, maybe a wee UK Area 51 sort of vibe. So that's coming next month, Troops. We've got bonus content coming out our ears.
Ends 51. Ends 51.
The ends.
Aye, I like that. Aye.
It
is? Scheme 51.
Scheme 51. That's
Scheme
the Scottish
51. I won that.
You won the verbal joust. Right, Troops. We hope you enjoyed. Till next time.
Put the feet up, kick back and relax in your best. No, I'm sitting on Rayleigh's gap and I'm sitting on back in the pad. Get deep fried and I smoke some packs of the grass. Put the feet up, kick back and relax in your best. No, I'm sitting on Rayleigh's gap.